Hey everyone, good evening to you all. And today was one of those days again. It's like, I don't know whether Stupidity or Brilliance is driving these prices down in these stocks here. We'll talk about that. Obviously, I'll give you guys my thoughts on what's happening here. We'll talk about it. We'll look at obviously what happened with Bitcoin today, miners as well. Miners got clobbered today like nothing else. It's been a while since they've been down this much. But we'll take a look at what's going on there. We'll also have stories from Google, which has a good operational quarter results, but still the stock's not doing that great after hours. So we'll talk about that. We got Google, we got news from Bitdeer, from Cipher, from Cleanspark as well. We'll get into all that, plus some other good stories maybe on Bitcoin as well. Maybe we are close to getting bottomed out here. Silver and gold are now crashing in hours right now. I think silver's down like 17% or something like that. So maybe those two have peaked here as well recently. We'll cover it all, and but we got to go through all this stuff, right? So as always, you guys know this. Full disclosure below that. You guys can take a screenshot of that, look at it, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. And let's take a look at what's going on here with Bitcoin and everything else. I'm going to try and give you guys a good dish of optimism here, hopefully, on what's going on here. So Bitcoin right now, it was obviously down today quite a bit. It was down today. Let's see, where did it go? I was down. That's on the weekly. I should probably not scare you guys and go to the daily. On the daily here, we are down today 3.52%. We're down in the new day again, another 2.64%. We are at $71,091, $86, somewhere around there. This is like the lowest we have been here since, I mean, going back all the way to October of 2024. I was hoping that we would have some support here at 72,000. Looks like we might have had some support there right around that line, right around 72,000. We went just right through that. So maybe we're going down to 70,000 here before everything's said and done. Maybe even 68,000. But we do have some support here right around 70,000 as well. So we'll see where we end up at here. I mean, RSI on the daily is looking really, really weak here. It is down right now to approximately, what is it, 21 RSI on it. Right, that hasn't been this low for quite, I mean, when's the last time it was down at 21? Going back. I mean, we are going way back to, all the way back to here. This was in August of 2023. Wow. Okay, that's when we got down to 25,000 roughly in Bitcoin. And I mean, that's way going far low. So either we're getting close or we're going to drop some more here, and, you know, the 4-year cycle is going to repeat itself. I still don't think that's the case here. I think we're just being manipulated. I think the money markets or the money managers, the big guys here, are trying to scare the pants off of us here. Not only with Bitcoin, but some of these other stocks that obviously we have here, because it just doesn't make any sense why some of those guys are going down. There's obviously fears with AI, that AI is cannibalizing software companies. So I can see, or I can understand at least why those are going down. But why are infrastructure companies like IREN, Cipher, TeraWolf, Cleanspark, all of these guys here today, some of these guys were down double digits here. What was the reason behind that, right? If AI is going to be taken over, then AI is going to be obviously pumping those bags up because they're going to need more megawatts for AI. So, and plus they don't have any software. It's always one of those things where you're kind of scratching your head going, what the heck, right? It doesn't make any sense on this stuff. And that's why I titled this video, right, Stupidity or Brilliance. So is it Brilliance on the big guys driving these stocks down now so that they can get in lower, obviously lower prices, obviously that's what they want, but they also do it both ways, right? They'll run them up, get great gains on them that way, and then also short them on the when they do go up quite nicely, they'll short them so they make money both ways, basically is what they're doing. And I think that's what's happening here again. The big money guys are trying to scare the pants off of us, off of retail, hoping retail will capitulate, bring these prices even down lower, and then they will eventually ride them back up here and make a crap ton of money. I am not going to be one of those. I'm going to be holding on here, and if anything, I'm going to be buying some more of these things. Do dip some more because these are going to do very, very well going forward. But when is the pain going to stop? I don't know. To be honest with you, I really do not know. I thought we would have bottomed out here in the last couple of days in Bitcoin, but we keep going down here, right? So Bitcoin obviously is down right now. If we look at also gold and silver, I mean, silver's come back up here a little bit, but it was down like 17% at one point. It's down 13% right now on the new day. It had a little bounce, a 2-day rally bounce here, and it's fallen back down here. Same thing with gold here. Had a 2-day rally. It's been bounced a little bit, and it's obviously come back down on these two. And maybe both of those have kind of topped out here. I mean, if you look at these guys here on the weekly time frame, you can see that they started to rally here basically back in October of 2022. Gold, right, had a huge increase from that time frame. As you can see here, where we were here, got all the way up to there. So that was like 250% increase in a matter of, what is it, 3 years roughly, right? 120 some odd days. So that'd be roughly 3 years, 4 years, 2026 right now. So we're going on 3.5 years or so. It's had a nice rally going way up here. Silver, same situation here as well. This one's been a little bit more parabolic here recently as well. And that one's up from where it bottomed out here in October. That one was all the way up here, was up 572%. So looks like maybe a blow off top here on both of these. We'll see how that goes forward. Maybe once we get some of these coming down here, we might get some rotation back into obviously maybe Bitcoin, the miners as well, other stocks going forward, because some of this stuff does not make any sense here. But again, right, the old saying is the markets can be irrational longer than you can be solvent. So that's kind of maybe what's playing out here right now for us as retail. Going back to here, Ethereum also got dumped on today. It was down. Let me put it down on the daily again. That one was down today another 3.9%. Now it's down another 2.26%. RSI is also one of the lowest spots here since, gosh, going back here to August of 2024, looks like for that one. And then miners, we had Bitfarms in double digits losses here, down 11%. Bitdeer held up pretty good here. It was up or only down 3.7%. Kenga wasn't down too bad either. Cipher got beat up, down 12.36%. I mean, this thing was down actually quite a bit there. It was actually like close to 20% down at one point during the day here. Cleanspark was down double digits as well. It got down to like 14, 15% being down. CORZ was down almost 9% there. Hive 7, Hut 8 was down 8. IREN down 17%. I don't know whether it's because they got the quarterly results coming out tomorrow. People are just trying to bring that stock down so they can buy more it when they do report. Well, we don't know what the report's going to be like, but I'm guessing it's going to be okay, if not good. Only reason I say that is because obviously Bitcoin prices come down on Bitcoin, and the network hash rate has increased. The only thing that they could possibly offset that by would be getting their own GPUs installed, and obviously having customers for that. That might have offset it quite nicely, depending on how many they got installed. Mara was also down 8.51%. Riot was down 7.8%. Wolf was down 6%. It was down like 14, 16% at one point, but actually bounced back towards the end of the day there. But all of these guys got beaten up one way or another. And the relative story that I heard online was because the software companies are taking it on the chin right now because of AI. To me, that doesn't make any sense. Absolutely no sense there whatsoever. And then even if you think about that, so if they're worried about software companies losing money to AI, if they're getting, well, especially like the big guys, right? Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Google, all of those guys that are getting into AI, I mean, they're generating so much revenue from AI right now as it is, and it's continuing to increase here. I think the revenue loss in software would be basically converted over into AI revenue and then some possibly. So they're going to be making money on that way. But try to explain that to, I guess, the big guys there. Maybe, but I think we're just getting wiped down here until they're happy with where we are. And they're going to pull things back up. Bitcoin holding companies here down for the most part as well. MicroStrategy was down. Galaxy was down again, another 8% there. That one's definitely taking it on the chin there. Block was up a little bit. Coin was down. Metaplan was down as well. Exodus, Nexon, and GameStop were actually up here a little bit. And Phoenix got beat up quite nicely here. It was down 16%. On that one, small miners all got beat down, with the most being Mawson here again, being down 11.76%. Down to the Bitcoin miner ETFs, all of those were down 6, 7, 9, almost 10%, 8%, 11% there as well. Ethereum holding companies also got beaten. BTCS got beaten down the most, down 11.74%. Other companies that we track here, Wi-Fi took it also quite hard here today. It was down 12.57%. We had pretty much everything here in the red here. Solana was down 12.39%. Who else got beat down pretty good? EOS down 13.92%, and New AI down 12.98%. Microsoft was the only one here out of the list here. I was actually up a little bit, 0.72%. Google, like I said, came out with good earnings, but the stock was actually down for the day and then also down in after hours. Again, doesn't make any sense there. Right, they're all concerned about the CapEx spending there. We'll talk about that. That actually might be good for our miners here. we're not going to really worry about the miners here in after hours right now. We'll see what they do tomorrow anyways. We're just going to get into the news stories that we do have here. But first, Bitcoin right now is down 8.29% in February. We're getting close to where we ended up in January here. So this would be the 5th month that we would be in the red here. So not a great start for us here right now to the year in general. So maybe once we were done with February, March, having those all in the red here, we can start out the 4th quarter in the green. Maybe. Unless things reverse here really quick here in February. Bitcoin ETF inflows, outflows. We had some more outflows here happening yesterday, 272 million, and so far today we had 171 million outflows without BlackRock reporting. And then the good news stories here. All right, so this is from Walter Bloomberg. He says, NVIDIA CEO slams software sell-off as illogical. And I agree, this doesn't make any sense. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang said the recent sell-off in software stocks over the AI fears makes no sense, arguing that AI will use software tools, not replace them. And yeah, you need tools in place for AI to use them. You need, whether it's whatever it might be, Word, Excel, PDF, coding, the languages as well in there, graphics, all that stuff, right? It's going to be used in all of that. So I agree with him there. There might be some loss and obviously in revenue from that, but I don't think it's going to be, everything's going to get like wiped out here. It just doesn't make any sense there. He was speaking at the Cisco event. Wang said AI has helped NVIDIA employees work more efficiently, freeing time to focus on chip and system design, not eliminating the need for software. So he's seeing that. Others are seeing that as well. I think this is just a made-up narrative to drive the prices of some stocks down for the benefit of the bigwigs, basically, right? That's kind of my thinking on that one. Next here we got Google. Google Sunder on the recent software as a service meltdown, right? AI is going to be an enabling tool for software companies. We are seeing massive token usage. Many companies are incorporating Gemini into their workflows to increase productivity. Software companies that utilize AI have big opportunities ahead. Basically, Sunder doesn't think AI is going to destroy SaaS, same as Juan there, right? An incredible stat on these companies to date. The software relative to the S&P 500 shows 6 years of relative gains wiped out in the past month here. Obviously, that's kind of crazy there, right? From Adobe, all of these guys here that are listed there that I can actually see. So there's another one that's kind of saying the same thing. As far as Google's earnings today, those were really, really good here. Revenue was 113.8 billion versus 111 million that was estimated. EPS came in at 282 versus estimated 264. Google Cloud revenue was 17.7 billion versus 16.2 billion. Nice beats on all of those. Their fiscal year guidance here, CapEx 180 billion versus estimate 120 billion. So I think this is why the stock is down on that. But again, if they're expanding, they're going to be building out, they're going to be generating more revenue in the long term. It's like, that's a good thing. You want companies to grow, you want them to build out and provide the services that customers want, because we are seeing with not only Google, but with a lot of other companies that are getting into this and other spaces, that they have so much demand for AI that they can't keep up with it and they can't fulfill everything that the customers want. So this should be a good thing, not a bad thing, my view at least. All right, next here. This is CapEx big picture here. Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Oracle annual CapEx in billions here. This is from obviously from 2024 to 2025. We saw a 67% increase from 2025 to 2026. We're seeing a 43% increase. Obviously, a lot of expenditures or CapEx happening from Microsoft. Google is a massive one there. I mean, you can see the huge increase that they're having there on that one. Amazon, a slight increase from where they were as well. And then Meta is obviously spending quite a bit there. So that's going to be good. That should bode well for infrastructure, for megawatts, for sites that have megawatts. All those things should be good for Cipher, Cleanspark, IREN, TeraWolf, Riot, maybe Mara too, but Bitfarms, all those guys, right, that are in that space that they have megawatts available for these big guys to take advantage of. So that's all good things there. All right, and then this one's on Bitcoin here. So when was the last day with BTC FUD? Liquidations, whales are selling at 100,000. Cheap JP Morgan hit pieces. Quantum, Epstein. Oh, I heard that today. Epstein was the creator of Bitcoin there. I thought that was hilarious. I don't know about you guys, but when I saw that, I started laughing. I mean, they're even putting him as the creator. It's like, oh my gosh. So every angle, nonstop, none of this is organic. They want cheap Bitcoin and they want a lot of it. You think this is a manipulation. If you look at the global M2 supply here, liquidity, That's been going off like crazy to the moon, while Bitcoin has actually been going down here, where Bitcoin has historically kind of followed the M2 supply. So either we're get a nice bounce here to the upside. Don't know exactly when, but I think that's going to happen here. Right, we are being manipulated. There's absolutely no reason for this to be going on with all the FUD that we're seeing in Bitcoin and everything else. It's just, yes, the markets have gone up quite nicely here. The S&P, NASDAQ, others as well. They've been reaching new all-time highs here recently. So they're going to try and pull out all the stops to bring these stocks down a little bit so they can make some money on the downside and then make money on the upside as well. So hopefully you can weather the storm there while this is happening. Next here, Bitcoin is now back at its cost of production. The last time this happened was in late 2022. You can see here that purple line. All right, so going back to 2022, and then we bounced off of that. We did go a little bit lower here, which wouldn't be obviously great for us, but we did bounce after that. So a couple more days, a couple more weeks, I'm not sure. Eventually, I think we will bounce. And lastly here, this is about Cipher here. So we'll get into Cipher here next. But Cipher, this is from Matthew Siegel. Cipher gets a 13 billion orders for 2 billion of issue here. So I thought this was very interesting. Yield tightens to 6.125% from early indications of 6.35%. So that's actually really, really good yield that they got there, or rate on it. I think it's one of the best rates they've had from other companies as well, compared to other companies. So if you look at, I believe, CORZ Scientific, what's the other one? CORZ Scientific, I saw one comparison to that. Even TeraWolf itself, and there was one more, I think. Nibius as well was in there. They had actually higher yields. So this was really good by Cipher there. But here's what it had to say in the notes. Cipher bond ties to AWS data center gets 13 billion of something on that. So Black Pearl Compute attracted 13 billion of orders for its 2 billion junk bond sale to fund the Black Pearl data center in Texas. The 5-year bond will yield 6.125% compared to the average 5.56 yield for bonds in the BB range. Concerns about artificial intelligence impact on the software sector have fueled plunging equity and debt prices for some companies. Securities, but the debt sale tied to the data center has been well received by investors. Right, so they're willing to take on the debt there, but they're just beating them up on the security side of things. Bloomberg continues here. The threat of artificial intelligence has hammered the debt of some software companies on concerns that their business could be upended, which again is not the case. But investors can't seem to get enough of debt sales tied to data centers as the unit of crypto firm Cipher Mining logged one of the junk bonds market's biggest order books in years. So go figure, right? They're bringing these guys down, but they're also going in like crazy on this. Black Pearl Compute attracted 13 billion orders for 2 billion of junk bond sales, according to people familiar with the matter. The deal will help fund the Black Pearl data center in Texas that will be leased to Amazon Web Services for the next 15 years. All right, so it is FUD out the wazoo here on some of the stuff here, as you're seeing. Equities or securities going down, bonds are being, people are beating themselves to get into them. So I think the reverse is going to happen here eventually. But obviously this goes in tail with this announcement, this announcement by Cipher Mining on the 2 billion senior secured notes, right? We already know that it's going to be 6.125% senior secured notes due 2031. So that's great there. Great rate for them. Happy to see that. That's obviously really, really good for the shareholders there and the company in general. So that's good there. All right, next here, quick update on Bitdeer here. Bitdeer is going to announce their fourth quarter 2026 earnings conference call for February 12th, 2026. So that's going to be happening there at 7 a.m. Eastern time. At that point, we'll cover it obviously at the end, at the night time part of it. We'll look at what they report and see where they are in their process with the A chips, right? The A4 chips. Where are they in that stage of it? Where are they with getting customers for AI? All those things that I'm sure you guys are all looking forward to seeing on that. All right. Lastly here, Cleanspark provided us with their operational update for January here. So we're just going to take a look at that one and then look at the spreadsheet that I have. We'll get into Q&A. All right. This is a quote from Matt Schultz, their CEO. We're progressing discussions with data center tenants in parallel with our efforts to secure the right power and sites that support relentless demand across AI and high-performance computing. By expanding in the right markets, we're positioning Cleanspark to grow responsibly and develop a best-in-class offering designed to scale with our partners and their needs. So that's at least a good sign there, right? They're having discussions, so that's good. Obviously, we want those discussions to turn into actual contracts, but they're having discussions, which is good. And then, see, this is just, I think, a repeat here, but we've already covered this earlier in the month here. They stated they're going into Texas, second site in Texas as well, right? That's 447 acres. That's currently supporting an initial 300 megawatt demand load and a potential for an additional 300 megawatts for a total of 600 megawatts. It's supposed to close here in Q1 as well. And then this agreement marks the second Texas county in the Cleanspark's portfolio, right? They previously announced 271 acres and 285 megawatts in Austin County as well. As far as their operations here for Bitcoin produced, 573, which was actually not that bad. It's actually better than I thought it was going to be. Operational hash rate, obviously they're 50% installed, 42.6 exahash operational average hash rate there. Their Bitcoin treasury increased quite a bit here, 13,513. So they only sold 158.63 Bitcoin roughly, more or less. And I think they're selling less here because the Bitcoin price is where it's at, right? Maybe it doesn't make sense to sell it at this current price point, right? Their average price that they sold it at was 91,000. We're at 70-some thousand right now, so maybe it didn't make sense for them to sell it. They're just going to hold on to it until things rebound here, which obviously is also another good sign because they're thinking the same thing, right? That Bitcoin is definitely undervalued from where it should be. We should be going up higher potentially as well on that one. So there's that. I don't think there's anything else here. Yeah, there's nothing else currently. So look at the sheet that I have here for them. Right now, obviously the stock's at $10.22. Market cap $2.6 billion as it is. Their Bitcoin HODL is valued at about $983 million right there. Performance of the last 12 weeks has not been great at times. Up 8, down 15, up 2, down 13. So it has been great. Current hash rate, 50 exahash. Future hash rate, I think they're supposed to get to like close to 60 exahash. We might see that this quarter potentially, that getting done. I think they've hinted at that as well. Their current HODL market cap is 37.66%. So they're being more valued on their maybe operations and future possibilities of AI as well than their HODL here. Because if you look at Mara right now is being valued like junk right now. Right, their BTC value is 3.8 billion. Their market cap is at 3.1 billion. Not to mention all the sites that they own and everything else that's not being included in it. So yeah, it's just a strange comparison there to see the two. On that one, Bitcoin production here came down, obviously, kind of what we thought was going to happen here in January, down to 573. Revenues also were coming down. Bitcoin price coming down was a result. Bitcoin HODL did increase, which was good to see there. And hash rate growth month over month, no hash rate growth. We're stuck at 50 exahash here for the past 2, 4, 6, 8 months or so since June of last year. Bitcoin sold here, like I said, they've definitely decreased the amount that they sold here, only 159. Right, on the average here over the last, I would say, 7 months or so, they were selling about 570, 580 Bitcoin a month there. So they're definitely hodling it here a little bit more. Going down here, BTC per exahash efficiency down to 11.5, still really good overall. And then, yeah, they only sold 14.45 million roughly if we go by those numbers here. Going into analysts still increased here. So institutions are still buying, right? But they're also probably driving the things down, but they're buying. We got 530 institutions buying it overall now. Shares is 224.5 million. It's now 88.12% owned by institutions. We now have 9 strong buy ratings, so that's one more than we had the prior month. And we also have 4 buy ratings, actually, so that's another increase there. We have 0 holds, 0 performs, 0 sells. Price targets at $30 for the high. Average is $23.08, and the low is $14 there right now. So, excuse me. Institutions are buying nonetheless, right? Regardless of where the price is going, these guys are buying up, and they're buying up a heck of a lot of the company here. Where I guess retail not only makes up 12% of it. I guess it would be that way, right? If that's all that's left, that would be retail would be down to 12% here. So retail has been getting out, and institutions have been getting into it. Smart money knows, right? Eventually those things will run, and they'll end up making a lot of money at that point. All right, down here as far as operations for January here, had them operating for about 24.66 days roughly. They got us to the 50.61 million here that they reported, which came in, or 52.6 million, right? Yeah, 52.061 million. So that worked out. And again, why is that showing me 50? Did I do something wrong again today? I was trying to do things fast, and I think I messed up. Should have been 52. See, that's why I need like somebody to double check my stuff. I got too many things that I gotta do. Let's see if we bring that up. 52, okay, 71, so we're off by 10,000. That's close enough. I'm happy with that. All right, so 52 million, that coincides with that. Based on that, given that where we are right now and everything else, their future run rate, 12 months, right? We're looking at about 624 million if things stay the same here right now. That would give us a stock price of between $18.34 to $27.50. On the good side of things here, they're at 1022. Yeah, I think they're still well undervalued. And if you include any kind of business that they might give for AI for any of their sites, which is not being included in this, you can add that on top of it, and the stock should be much higher at that point as it is already from where it's at. Okay, so looking forward to tomorrow. So they're also reporting tomorrow their quarterly results, which will be interesting to see how they did. I'm sure it's not going to be great. FASB impact on Bitcoin price coming down. Also, Bitcoin price coming down, which obviously resulted in them actually making less revenue here for I think it's their Q2 or Q1 maybe, but our Q4. So it looks like for December, we had about 181 million here for that quarter that they're ending here, which is going to be down obviously from the 224 million that they had at the end of their Q4, our Q3. So they're going to be down. So we know that. Big question is expenses, plans going forward. Who are they talking to as far as AI tenants? Which other sites are they looking at to possibly buy? Things like that, right? We want to see that kind of conversation happening in tomorrow's conference call as well. But we'll cover it tomorrow when it does happen here. All right. That is it. That is all I got for you guys. I'm still bullish. I don't think that we are done with the Bitcoin cycle just yet. Historically, Bitcoin, if we look at it here, we'll get into that. As always, spreadsheets are available to my Patreon members here. Got to get that out. And then if you want to join, that's a couple bucks a month. Link for that is down in the description. Okay. As far as Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin here historically is never acted like the way it has so far. I think it's maybe because of the ETFs and everything else. But if we look at it here on the, not only the monthly chart here, in the past, we've had, a month of correction, we go up, we go up. A month of correction, we go up a little bit. Month of correction, we go up. Here we've had 2 months of corrections and we go up, right? If you look at the prior cycles as well, we've had some corrections, like a month of correction, we go up, correction, we go up. This time around, we're having, like, right now we're in 5 months of pure hell, I guess you could say, with Bitcoin coming down here. Before, we've had maybe 3 months, right? We've had 3 months going down, then we would go up, go down, go back up, we would go down, go back up, go back down, go up, go down. And it'd be one of those things. This time around is just like constant pounding on Bitcoin here to go down. There's a lot of pressure, obviously, from the higher ups, I guess you could say, whoever those might be, right? The big money, the ETFs, all of that, the big Black Rocks of the world, the Jane Streets, all those other ones that are in there as well. They are definitely bringing this thing down to much lower prices. Maybe they're waiting for that bill to get passed. Was it the Clarity Act or Clarity Bill or whatever it's called, to get that passed. Once they get passed, then they'll let that thing run like crazy. Maybe. Don't know, right? Don't know what their motives are. We have heard stories, obviously, in the past that those guys like to meet and have dinner together. I'm pretty sure we all know what they talk about at those dinners. And, right, that might be a result of what we're seeing here. Maybe it is a coordinated effect of what's happening here. Maybe. Kind of have to put your kind of tinfoil hats on a little bit, maybe, to think that, but who knows what's going on out there, right? We know that we are the little people here. We have a voice, but our voice is very, very small. And the big money obviously can move these things either direction that they want. And we're kind of at their whim a little bit as well. But if you made it this far, we might have a little bit more pain before we go up, but I think we're getting closer and closer. Not actually sure where we're going to bottom out here, but I think we're getting closer. And I could be wrong on that as well. So we'll get into it. Okay, let's get into Q&A here, see what you guys have to say. We'll call it a day. Today was obviously not a great day. Today I was down about right around 300,000 down on my whole portfolio. What that includes crypto, stocks, and my profit sharing or retirement plan as well. So not a great feeling today. I've had those before as well. It's never a great feeling. But as long as you need the cash right now and you can buy some more if you need to, I think you're going to do very well in the next couple of years. I would say maybe in the next year, possibly even, as things turn around here. All right, but I'm rambling. Let's get into Q&A, and we'll call it a day at that point. All right, as always, I'm going to scroll my way up and work my way down from there. And we do have quite a few comments here already as it is. And let's see. All right. We'll start with we'll start with the ones that I haven't already responded to in the comments. Roger says, I think we broke that 69,000 due to Trump president win. We pumped all the way to 125 with FOMO. Now we're back to retest it. If we break 69, it doesn't look good. I would agree with you there, right? I think if we hold 69 or 70,000, if we hold that, then we bounce off of that, we'll be fine. Rally continues, extended rally continues. If we fall below that and we keep going down, yeah, we're, not sure where we're going to end up at that point. But historically, we would at least not go, well, we'd go below the prior highs a little bit, but not that much. BT says, good day, Seb. I'm not sure I am enjoying this party. Nobody is right now, right? It's not a great feeling for sure. Sadie, thank you so much for the likes there. Bevany says, pretty sure Bitcoin in bear market. Yeah, I mean, we've been in bear market for the past 4 months now, it seems like, and it's a constant bear market with no reprieve there. Morton says, question about some more IRE today when it was 37% down. No, you're not. You just have conviction and you believe in that one. I mean, we talked about it. Obviously, they have the megawatts, they have everything else. The big guys need those sites, need the megawatts if they want to build out stuff quickly here. So I think they will get repriced eventually. But he says, I don't know if the big guys are trying to scare us all. LOL, the big guys themselves are scared, LOL. I mean, if you listen to, I've listened to a couple of those guys. Yeah, they're not happy with it, but they could be putting up a front too, right? Yeah, we're not happy with it, but in the background, they're just like, we're making money on the way down. Well, retail is panicking. Let's see, Roger says, AI is just a fancy word. I never see any results of AI yet. Best things we got is AI search engine, which is just regular program that searches for internet for its existing knowledge. No, I mean, there's already, I don't know, depending what you're using it for, what you're doing with it. For me, it's already been huge as far as time savings is concerned. The thumbnails, I put that into Gemini. I get that within, obviously, maybe 30 seconds or so. Before, when I would work on thumbnails, it would take me, gosh, I don't know, sometimes it would take me like 15 minutes or something like that. So that's already, yeah, I think 15 minutes was kind of like the average that would take me there. So I'm already saving 15 minutes in doing that alone. Some research that I also do, right? Saves me a lot of time. What else? Even for my regular job that I do throughout the day, right? I've used it in many, many instances where it has already saved me plenty of time as well, where it's making me more productive in the long run, which is great. So depending on how you're using it, what you're using it for, it definitely can save quite a bit of time. Charles, the bear market started January 2025, so it's basically over in 2 weeks. Okay, so you're thinking it's going to be over in 2 weeks? That would be great. Roger, people also said after gold finishes the rally, BTC will run. Nope, well, not yet. Well, I mean, gold just finished this rally possibly this past week. If that's the case here, we don't know if that's the case. I'm thinking that's the case, but we don't know. But eventually that money could flow back into Bitcoin and other things as well. And that might take some time here. So we'll see in the next couple of weeks, couple of months, maybe we'll see that. If that's the case here, as long if gold and silver continue to fall maybe or trade sideways, or I would think they're going to fall probably a little bit more. And we see, things are going into Bitcoin there. Roger says, how can it be market manipulation when big names like Tom Lee even got caught with his pants down? Well, Tom is obviously very active on media, social media and just regular media, like CNBC, Fox, and things like that. But there's other people, other institutions that have a heck of a lot more money than Tom Lee has and whatever he's managing, right? There are much, much bigger institutions than that. And not everybody's in at the table when they have those wonderful dinners together. Just my thoughts. Could be wrong. Charles, any other clawbots in here? Yeah, if you're a clawbot, raise your hand. This is for human consumption only. We don't want the clawbots to go after us. Danny, which miner better to buy, Cipher or Wolf? Wolf, with the recent acquisitions of the two sites, it's starting to gain up, or not gain up, catch up to Cipher and IREN as far as megawatts are concerned. The big thing is who can get the deals, right? So I don't know. Tough question there. Wolf is definitely coming up here in the ranks here a little bit with megawatts as well. Yeah, I'd say both. Just diversify. Gary says data centers dumping because of debt issues with OpenAI, Oracle, Blue Owl, and CoreWeave. Not fair that those with no connection to any of them get crashed as well. There are a few bad apples. Well, the market thinks that there are a few bad apples, right? They haven't defaulted on their obligations yet. People are thinking they're going to have to default or something like that, especially OpenAI, which obviously is taking on a lot of debt, and that might be one of those companies that I don't think I shouldn't say that. We'll see how time progresses, but some people think that one might be the one that actually fails in the long run, right? Where other companies might obviously do better, because we're obviously seeing the OpenAI's market share in AI come down, whereas Gemini's from Google is increasing. XAI's is also increasing in percentage of that market share. So there's obviously some concern for OpenAI. All right. Kevin says crypto bear is still early days. Recession coming this year. Stock next bear market. I mean, we had a good GDP. It was, what was it, 4%, 5% for last reported GDP. So I don't see where we're going to be getting a recession here in the economy. Yeah, I mean, people are talking about we could get to like double digits GDP. I don't know. Obviously, we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Let's see. Carl says we are watching massive walls. Okay. Sorry, Wall Street liquidity sweep going on right now. Okay. BTBT at this Bitcoin price, which miners are turning off their machines? Which will be helped by earning more coins? Some of the ones that might be turning off are the ones that don't own their own infrastructure. So I would think maybe like Kango is one of them. Some of the smaller guys that also don't have any infrastructure, Sphere 3D, Argo potentially as well, and any other private miners that are in a bad shape or just have older machines potentially. All right. Gary says the bad apples in the space just feed into the AI as a bubble theory. We will crash even when not connected to them if you understand the space. Yep. Agree with you there. Kevin, AI investment will implode in 2026. Market starting to discount. The AI investment will implode in 2026. I would say I would disagree with you on that. But again, I could be wrong and you could be right. But based on what I'm seeing here, at least right now, the growth is insatiable from not only customers, but also from those that are creating the AI. Right, you need more megawatts. We can make it smarter, better. And remember, the goal here for these guys is to get into AI that's super intelligent. Right? So that's still on the cards there. That still hasn't happened here. Robert says, thanks for the Trump video yesterday. I had fallen asleep during the live broadcast. Well, you're very welcome there, and I'm sorry that I bore you, I guess, is the way maybe I could look at it. I'm kidding. LOL. I know it's late, so I understand if you guys fall asleep. All right, BA2, do you think IREN will announce a deal tomorrow? I would love it if they did. I'm not sure that they are. I don't know why they would wait until the earnings release. You probably want to report that before, and then also maybe get a nice pump on the earnings itself, possibly. So that's kind of the way I would look at it, so I don't know. Kevin says all those forecasts will change. It always does. You're talking about the economy there. You might be right. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I could be wrong. I'm just thinking the opposite there. Adam, makes sense. The miners are down with BTC. When do you think these miners will have equal revenue to the Bitcoin they mine? IREN by the end of the year, but that's it, right? IREN by the end of the year, yes. these other guys that are building out right now as well, Cipher, TerraWolf, who else? Core Scientific potentially will possibly outpace their revenues. I mean, not for the full year, but for the, let's take a look at here. Let's see here. Where's Cipher? Cipher's revenues for this past year have been, what have they been? Yeah, they should surpass those, I would think, going into next year, right? Because they're building out in Q3 and Q4 of this year for their AI with Amazon there. But the revenues here in the past year have been, let's see, 213 million. So I think they're going to surpass that in the following year based on that. So Cipher, I think the same is going to be obviously true for TerraWolf also, and possibly some other ones, but that's going to be into next year. I think IREN might be the only one that might be able to do that this year, potentially. Genpal, sold my Cleanspark after 2 years round trip and added to IREN. Hope IREN does well tomorrow. Okay, totally understand that. All right. Added 100 shares of Cipher today. I still have 2,400 shares of Cleanspark. Cost base is 1150, so in the red again. Okay, so you definitely got it higher than I'm at. S. Romney, would it make sense to switch my Cleanspark to Cipher now? That's going to be up to you. I mean, you're in the red already as it is. If you believe that Cipher will outperform Cleanspark, then yes. If you don't, and you think Cleanspark, it's up to you. It's completely up to you on that one. I own both of them, but I got in much lower prices because I dollar cost average in. Right, so you got to do what's right for you. Garrett, so if we are still in a 4-year cycle, will past cycles, will we leave the crypto winter in January 27 based on past cycles? We left last bear cycle at the start of 2020. If we're in a similar cycle, we should be getting there probably by the end of this year, if not early next year, I would think. Christian says, so are you ready to stop talking about an extended cycle? Nope, not yet. As long as 69,000 holds, I'm holding out breath that we are still in an extended cycle here. But it's getting tough. I think this might be like I'm hoping it's like a head fake by the markets here, trying to, freak people out that, yeah, the cycle is the same, but you also hear a lot of people talking about that it's an extended cycle. Time will tell, right? Everything about this cycle has been completely different from other cycles, which makes me think we're still in an extended cycle, but I could be wrong. All right. BSU, did the gold, silver, etc. run take the air out of Bitcoin run by absorbing the M2 supply? If so, will there be a rotation? There might be a rotation. I'm not sure if it took out all the supply there because Bitcoin was going up at the same time for a period of time at least when gold was going up as well. And it's just recently things have definitely diverged there. Ryan, hey Seb, how are you? I'm good. And how are you managing the ongoing sell-off? Will you be buying lower? Any target prices in mind for BTC? Bitcoin, I'm not going to be buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I got in at 2017, so I'm not buying into that one. I think there's more upside potential with the BTC AI miners, right? IREN, Cipher, Cleanspark, Bitfarms, Wolf, all those guys there. I think there's more upside there. So if anything, I'll be buying into those guys. If we do continue to dip here, I'll probably buy some more, right? All right. Freedom says, I started buying Bitcoin again. I will have 0 left by 62,500. Okay, so you think it's going to go that low? Roger, I remember the good times, Seb, when you thought Cleanspark was going to 72 years ago. Yeah, Bitcoin obviously didn't go where we thought it was going to go. Went on these extended, prolonged marches to the north, to the upside, and also extended downtrends in Bitcoin price as well. And that didn't help out the miners there at that point. Luckily, the miners got into AI because of the megawatts they had, so that's kind of helping us out. So that was a saving grace there, I guess, for us. All right, Ron, also, could you touch on the recent updates from Anthropic? Will this not be a good thing for data centers? Not sure what. I didn't see anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. I saw some things from Anthropic being reported, but I'm not sure if this is exactly what you're talking about there. If you point me to the right direction, we'll take a look at it. All right. Jay says, I feel like crypto winter started October 2025. Maybe I'm wrong, but feel like the end would be October 2026 or end of the summer. Okay. Let's see, Gary says Cleanspark went from 87% to 88% institutional ownership, so it's up 1%. So both retail institutions likely selling if only 1% change. Why would it be? Well, if it went from 87 to 88, that's 1% increase, right? It's owned by institutions. Both retail likely selling if only 1% change. Yeah, that I don't know. Gary says, IREN needs to stop mining. They must be close to break-even price now, so no point continuing mining. Break-even, I mean, they're still profitable with electrical costs. If you include operations, all the overhead, and everything else, you're better off bringing in something than nothing at this point. Because if you can at least pay for electricity and pay for a portion of your operations, you're better off to do that than not mine and not get anything, right? So I think you're better off mining at that point. What else we got here? All right. Zara says, there's nothing for months that's going to drive Bitcoin higher. No one wants to buy Bitcoin over 90,000. We really need the miners to pivot quick and get away from Bitcoin completely. A lot of them have, I mean, they're pivoting, right? But they're still generating a lot of the revenues from Bitcoin right now. But it is happening here over time. All right, Dan, do Cipher and Wolf have same potential as IREN, i.e. reach $60, $70 price range? Cipher and Wolf, what stood out with IREN was their own build out for AI, right? So they got their own servers, they got their own customers in that. That I think propelled them more so than the others, because the others weren't doing that. They weren't investing in those capabilities. I think that propelled IREN more because of that. As far as megawatts potential, Cipher and IREN are pretty close to each other on megawatts. TeraWolf is gaining, catching up to them a little bit, right? They're at 2 gigawatts, something like that right now, I think, or close to 2 gigawatts. So they're not gaining from them. They're catching up to them. The other two, and it'll just depend on the deals that they get. Right, so who gets the deals, who has the better connections. As far as getting to those price ranges, I think you also take a look at the number of shares that are outstanding for each company. So if we look at the shares on those, right, so can they get to those? You may want to look at the market cap of these companies as well. But if we look at Cipher here, Cipher has right now, let me see, pull this up, browser. Cipher has almost 400 million shares. Okay, there's Cipher. IREN has 283 million shares, so about 100 million shares less, right? That's going to impact the stock price there. And TeraWolf has 418 million shares, right? So that's also going to impact it. So I don't know if they can get to those same prices on that market share, possibly, if they get a bunch of deals, obviously, going forward. They could possibly get to the market, but obviously the price is not going to be similar. You're going to be roughly, what is it going to be, 20% difference on it. So if IREN got to 70, you could say 20% off of that. What are we looking at? Right around 50 some odd dollars, I think, would be right around the same market share. Okay. All right, let's go back here. Let's see, sorry, BTC has never held high prices for a long. Go look at the all-time charts. Yeah, I mean, it goes up to, went up to what, 19,000 in 2017, came back crashing down. We got up to 63, went down, got up to 69,000, and we went up. Yeah, it definitely bounces here, but this is one of those things where it might be just a correction happening. Ron says it's a domino effect. IREN, Ukraine, tariffs, new Fed chair, software sell-off, dollar crashing, riots, Epstein somehow linked to Bitcoin, all makes the market extremely uncertain. This too shall pass. I agree. Some of it, I think, is also stupidity, like the Epstein link to Bitcoin. What the? Roger, at what Bitcoin price do you start selling? I had mentioned you would get out if Bitcoin drops more than 30% off peak. Not Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I'm holding on to that sucker until we get to 1 million. Whether we go back down to 40, 30,000, whatever it is with Bitcoin, I'm going to hold on to it. I went from 69,000 all the way down to 15,500 and took it all the way back up to 126,000. That thing is, those coins are not moving. I'm not doing anything with those coins. Those are going to be there for a couple more years. or until I retire or I pass away, and then at that point my kids will get it. I'm not doing anything with those. Let's see. Sorry, most of us thought BlackRock wouldn't let us drop like this, but we were wrong. Yeah. Like I said, the big thing to remember is they make money on the way up and on the way down as well. They make it both ways. Christian says email saves a lot of time from writing letters. Doesn't mean it generates revenue or is a good investment. No, but it does save you time, right? Anything that can save you time makes you more productive in other ways, which is obviously what you want. BA2 seems this is a targeted shakedown. There is a very limited supply of Bitcoin, and many big money players are late to the game. They want your Bitcoin and they want it at a lower price. Yeah, they do. As well, I would agree with you there. Let's see, Christian, it's not about does AI have use, it's is it worth investing in valuations that imply it will take over the world. I'd love to buy OpenAI at 10 billion valuation, 1 trillion, no thanks. Well, yeah, I mean, depending on what the valuation is of a company, right? Sometimes, and what are their revenues. But you got companies, obviously, like Google and Amazon and Microsoft. Those guys are making a killing off their cloud services and AI and everything else that they're doing. And yet still, for some reason, I'm not sure if it's retail or if it's the big money they're moving in, like just spreading FUD, it seems like, to bring things down so they can buy them lower. That's just my take on it. Some of the stuff just doesn't make any sense. Gary says Tom Lee has lost $8 billion on the $16 billion his fund gave him just a few months ago. Well, that's with Ethereum. Yep. See, Rob, at what entry price did BlackRock get into Bitcoin? Right around these levels, I think it was when they got into it with the ETFs, I think at that point. SJ, thank you so much. Hello, everyone new here, subscribed and liked. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see, Gary says OpenAI is a private look at stock price of Oracle, Blue Owl, and CoreWeave, all down huge, so more worry than just OpenAI. Well, it's spreading into the whole sector, basically, right? Those worries are spreading into that. SJ asks, where's the floor? Don't know. We're hopefully getting close to that floor there. Rob says, no, Seb, I had fallen asleep because I was exhausted from exercise. No, I'm just kidding with you, right? I know it's late and everything else, depending where you are, stuff like that. Completely understand and not a big worry there. Greatly appreciate you coming in every day. Gary, IREN AI revenue could pass Bitcoin revenue in Q2, but Q3 for sure. Yes, as long as they can build out those sites for Microsoft there. Roger, could it break 69,000 just to flush everyone out, then reclaim 69,000 immediately and go up? It could. We've seen that happen before as well. Rob, the more and more I see it, I believe it's JP Morgan that's causing the grief in the stock market. Silver and gold, BTC crypto could be the case there. We don't know. Let's see what else. Daryl, question: would you currently rather buy Cipher or Bitdeer? Oh man, my preference would be to go with the U.S.-based companies here, but Bitdeer has been beaten down quite tremendously here from where they probably should be. That's why I'm looking forward to seeing their quarterly results as well, to see what those look like and also what their guidance is going forward. I think a lot of investors got spooked when they delayed their A4 chips a little bit, and that's why the stock tanked quite a bit. So if they're more on track with those things and getting to AI, I think that one has a lot of upside potential as well. I think that's beaten down probably more than Cipher is right now. But that's, yeah, I mean, my preference would be obviously the U.S., but looking at the numbers here, it does seem like Bitdeer is beating down more than Cipher is. All right. Rob says, and let's not forget about Ken Griffin as well. Yeah. Market's good opportunity for giants to buy miners. Giants as far as like companies buying out the miners. I mean, that might possibly happen too if they really wanted to. CMB says total manipulation. They want to wipe out retail and scoop up cheap Bitcoin. I think the same thing. Robert says we are dredging the bottom. Okay, so you think the bottom's getting there. Bevin says MicroStrategy lost 40 billion in 4 months. I feel like it'll be a poop show if Bitcoin drops to 40, 50,000 from his. I think the liquidation level will be like around 20 some odd thousand per Bitcoin. I don't think 40, 50,000 would be the liquidation event there. Correct me if I'm wrong there though. The SH says Jim Channel slammed IREN Bitcoin miners AI pivot, calling it 80% marginal beta projections. Hopium. Okay. Jim Chanos is the one that always shorts things, right? Robert Smith says Jim Chanos is the Joe Biden of old RIH. I'm not sure what that. Rich investors. Okay. Rich investors. The people running the Mag 7 all believe it's essential to win AI race. They are rarely wrong. Hard to believe they are all wrong in AI value. On AI value, I agree with you there. Elon often wrong on timeline, but usually correct. Yeah. His timelines are ambitious at most, but he's right on a lot of things. So I don't see them being wrong here. All right. SG says, here we go, approaching 69,000 secured to buy in. Black, what do you think of IREN will report, good or bad earnings? If they haven't installed a lot of the GPUs for their own AI cloud, then their revenues will be obviously down. I think they're going to probably have a negative EPS at that point. But if they installed a bunch of their GPUs like they said they were going to be doing, the revenues might have been improving or growing, which would be good, which might have offset obviously the loss from Bitcoin coming down in price at that point. So it's basically a coin flip right now on that. Okay, Robert says, I heard Cipher is still trying to GPU mine ETH. Okay, I don't think that's the case because you can't mine ETH since, gosh, when was that? 2023, I think it was, or 2022, I can't remember, when Ethereum switched to proof of stake. And lastly here, but maybe not least here, Rob, I wonder when Trump is going to tweet about Bitcoin and the miners. I mean, he tweets about Bitcoin and how they're in favor of Bitcoin and everything else, but maybe he needs to tweet, now would be a good time to be in the markets or something like that, like he did last time when we had the April lows on it. All right, let's see, we got one more coming in here, but from Bevneat. I feel like we're going to have a green day tomorrow. I would love to have a green day. We'll see if we get one of those. Let's see, Bitcoin's at 70,058 right now, 70,060. Let's see, that's on the weekly, on a monthly, daily. I want to look at the daily here. I mean, yeah, we're still falling here. The 4-hour chart, like that one. I mean, that's oversold here. Daily's oversold. 4 hours is oversold. 1 hour is oversold again. Weekly here, that's oversold. Monthly, monthly is still kind of high, but we haven't been this low on the monthly since going back to 2023, which was January 2023, which is kind of where we kind of bottomed out at that point. Well, we bottomed out in December 2022, really, but same in January. So that's kind of where we're getting back to, where we bottomed out from the prior bull run to the bear market at this point. So this might be like the bottom out here. We got to be really close, I would think, at this point, with the RSI where it's at on all these things here. Maybe one last dip lower to spook everybody. Maybe. We can all hope, and we'll find out in due course. Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately. I'd love to have a crystal ball. Talked about that one already. Let's see. John says, Congress guy, Cleo bought IREN January 20th. I saw that, yeah, as well. Yeah. Didn't he also sell it at one point and he bought it back in or something like that? Did he know it was going to be a coordinated effort to bring things down? I don't know. Who knows on that one? And we got one more coming from Daryl, and we'll call it a day because we're going on an hour here as it is. Daryl says, thanks again. Always appreciate your perspective and optimism. I greatly appreciate you guys as well. Thank you for that. But yeah, we'll call it a day. We'll see what happens tomorrow, right? It's not over yet till the fat lady sung, and the fat lady has not sung, I feel like. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll obviously talk about Cleanspark reporting tomorrow. We got IREN reporting. We got also Amazon reporting tomorrow. And whatever else happens tomorrow, we'll talk about it at that point at night. So love you all. Be positive. Stay positive. Be patient. I still think the best is yet to come for us here. We got a couple more coming here for Black. The miners on SSR, so shorting will be restricted tomorrow. Okay, and Robert says, I smashed by MicroStrategy at 143. Rest in peace. Sadie, you're very welcome as well. Thank you so much. Love you all. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.